Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace, love, and salutation to all you Akim out there that's pushing this truth and truth sincerity. Just keeping up on current events, what's going on in Puerto Rico. I got a scripture right quick, and then I'm just going to explain through the Spirit. This is 2nd Esdras chapter 15, verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Alright? Now, sedition is the conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or monarch. And that's what you see going on in Puerto Rico, sedition. But there's also a lot of wickedness going on in Puerto Rico. The reason why these people are taken to the streets, and when I'm talking about you people, I'm talking about you Ephraimites, you so-called Puerto Ricans, one of the 12 tribes of Israel. The reason why these so-called Puerto Ricans are taken to the streets because with this governor, Richard Rosello said, all right, he left the so-called misogynistic and homophobic tweets, all right, and that brought out that sodomite living La Vida Loca, Ricky, whatever his name is, I forgot his last name, the dude that wrote Living La Vida Loca, who performed it, because he's a sodomite, and some other sodomite entertainers, along with these protesters and looters, to take to the streets of old San Juan. And here it is, it's about 2 years since Hurricane Maria struck Puerto Rico, killing about 3,000 people. All right, the people in Puerto Rico didn't have lights for almost a year, but you're taken to the streets over what a governor said about homosexuals. And homosexuality, all right, is condemned in the Bible. All right, but we know through the scriptures that Ephraim is joined unto idols, man. So you got all types of wickedness going on in Puerto Rico, and the Lord is going to send more destruction to Puerto Rico. And you got a brother down there by the name of Samak Amath, all right? That's his page name. Been down there preaching the word for a good minute, man. All right? I'll read that again. For there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. And this is a further coming to the shores of America, man. And there's also tension in America with these four female political figures of color. I think all of them are Jakes. You had these four women that Donald Trump was against, and then at a Donald Trump rally, his supporters said go back. They had a female representative. I don't think she's a senator, but she's in some form of politics, and they told her to go back to where she's from. She's born in Somalia, but she's a United States citizen. So that whole narrative is being pushed here, all right, to for all hell to break loose. And we know that the Lord is coming back through these different signs that are being here on the face of the earth. But what I want to focus on is you so-called Puerto Ricans. Like I said, you haven't even fully recovered from Hurricane Maria, and now you're taken to the streets with what some mayor said. All right, and the scriptures condemn homosexuality. They don't condone it; they condemn it. All right, you got Ricky Martin, who's a well-known homosexual. Shame on him. All right, if he knew any better, he would take heed to the word. And you other sodomites who are so-called Puerto Ricans, you so-called Latinos, man. All right, you so-called Latinos, man. You're getting jacked up in all types of ways. All right, you so-called Puerto Ricans are down there looting your own land. All right, you just got devastated by Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. You so-called Mexicans and you so-called Panamanians, you so-called Guatemalans, you so-called Hondurans, you so-called El Salvadorians are finding yourselves in a concentration camp in the United States where you haven't showered in 40 days. So the Lord is bringing judgment upon all you so-called Latino tribes, man. And here it is, you got men that speak Spanish who look just like you are bringing this word of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, but you're not listening. So the Lord is going to bring more fury upon you so-called Latino tribes, man. And good. Good for the good. Let's give the Most High Yahweh Shem Shai a round of applause for bringing more judgment to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. All right. So this is Leviticus 20 and 13. It says, if a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood should be upon them. So you so-called Puerto Ricans, man, you say you know God, but you don't know the scriptures. Homosexuality is worthy of death, according to the scriptures. But you're taking to the streets of Puerto Rico, all right, to protest what a governor said, all right, and the so-called misogynistic tweets, man. Like the women of our nation are getting way out of hand, man. All right, and this is a curse in the Bible because we failed to obey Yahweh Shem Shai, man, and keep His commandments. So this is Jeremiah 31 and 22. How long wilt thou go about, O thou backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth, a woman shall compass a man. That's why you see women, especially down there in Puerto Rico, trying to rise up. They should be at home trying to learn how to make biscuits or make tortillas and scramble eggs. All right? These women, especially here in America too, they want to be the new men. They walk around like men. They have that stiff walk like a man. All right? But when all hell breaks loose, you're going to go back to a woman screaming and yelling and crying. All right? When all hell breaks loose, we know you women can't handle adversity. All right? So what I want to focus on is you so-called Puerto Ricans, man. It's a high time for you so-called Puerto Ricans, you Negroes, all you other so-called Latinos, you West Indians, you Brazilians to wake the hell up, man. Because the Lord is showing multiple signs in the earth that He's coming back, and His name ain't Jesus Christ. All right? Guadalupe is not going to save you. All right? Mary is not going to save you. Michael the Archangel is not going to save you. Okay? Because you're all into idol worship. So I'm going to just start off with Ephraim, you so-called Puerto Ricans. This is Genesis chapter 41 and 52. It says, in the name of the second child, he Ephraim, for the Most High, have caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. All right. So the name for Ephraim is the Hebrew word aparium, which means I am fruitful. And you Puerto Ricans are everywhere. You're in Chicago, you're in Los Angeles, you're in Atlanta. All right. Hell, you could be in South America, man. You got Puerto Ricans that went into Vietnam back during the late 60s, early 70s, and they spread their seed in Vietnam. So you got a lot of so-called Puerto Ricans from the tribe of Ephraim out there in Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. So you spread your seed everywhere. You're fruitful and multiplying and having a lot of children. All right. You are one of the 12 tribes of Israel, man. All right. You are the head tribe of the northern tribe because after Solomon's reign, the Israel split into two kingdoms, the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom. All right, and you so-called Puerto Ricans are the head of the northern kingdom. But look at you now. All right, that's why the Lord is only looking for a remnant. All right, a remnant of Ephraim, namely 12,000 men out of the tribe of Ephraim. Okay, He's not looking for every one of you Puerto Ricans, man. Why the hell are you calling yourself Puerto Ricans? Puerto Ricans simply means rich port. All right, but you call it, I'm Boricua, Puerto Rico. Hey, Puerto Rico's getting jacked up, man. The Lord, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lord just fully destroys Puerto Rico off the map, man. All right, through another hurricane because it's hurricane season once again. How soon y'all forgot Hurricane Maria? Now you're taking to the streets over folly, man. Over what some governor said about women. Women should be in their place, and there's no room for homosexuality. All right, but what you see is what's coming here to America, man, because people are going to have problems when Trump gets reelected, and he will get reelected. The Democratic Party is just finished, okay? Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, they're not ready, bro, okay? Let's just face it. Trump is going to get reelected, all right? But back to you so-called Puerto Ricans, man, all right? Through the spirit, man, you just got to get God on, man. All right, because you're not waking up to the fact that you're a Hebrew Israelites. Like I said, you got a brother down there preaching the word. All right, he was even preaching the word before Hurricane Maria happened. Nothing happened to him, but 3,000 people died down there through the pestilence. They had a curfew down there. I know a lot of you so-called Puerto Ricans were getting shot because you failed to obey the curfew. You had martial law down here. Everything that happened in Puerto Rico is coming toward America, man. All right, so I'm gonna go to Hosea. All right, because these scriptures fit you so-called Puerto Ricans to a T, man. All right, just give me one sec here. All right, Hosea chapter I'm gonna start at 4. Hosea 4 and 17. Ephraim is joined to idols, let him alone. All right, you're like I said, you're into all types of you're into Jesus Cristo, Mary, Guadalupe, all right, Brujeria and Santeria, all that witchcraft going on down there, familiar spirits, all right. They're joining to idols, man. That's why the Lord is punishing you so-called Puerto Ricans, man. That's why he's sending all types of sedition to your land. All right. This is Hosea 11 and verse 3. I taught Ephraim also to go, taking them by their arms, but they knew not that I healed them. The Lord is trying to heal you with this word, telling you from the tribe of Ephraim, telling you to wake up to your nationalities, being a Hebrew Israelite, because your main language isn't Spanish, it's Hebrew. All right, the Paleo Hebrew. He's trying to heal you. He's sending the prophets B times in Puerto Rico to warn you of the calamities that's coming to your own country and America. The Lord is literally grabbing you by the hand through his prophets to tell you of the calamity that's coming, but you don't want to take heed. That's why Puerto Rico is in shambles right now from this sedition that's going on and Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. Okay? Read that again. I taught Ephraim. Let me start at verse 1. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. All right, Israel represents the northern kingdom, which represents you so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, Brazilians, so on and so forth. When Israel was a child, then I loved him and called my son out of Egypt. And they called him, so they went from them. They sacrificed unto Balaam and burned incense to graven images. And the same thing is happening now. You're worshiping Balaam. All right, and Puerto Rico. That's why the Lord sent Christopher Columbus to slaughter you so-called Boricuas back in the day. All right, and they gave you Christianity. Now you're fully set in Christianity. So for you disobeying the Lord back in the day, all right, before you went into Assyria under captivity and came over here to Arsareth, which is America, you were just going to slap off worshiping idols before that, man. So this is a age-old millennium problem for you so-called Puerto Ricans, man, and you other so-called Latino tribes, man. Verse 2, as they called them, so they went from them. They burned unto Balaam and burned incense to graven images. Like I said, the same thing was going on now, man. I taught Ephraim also to go, taking them by their arms, but they knew not that I healed them. All right. So, like I said, the Lord is giving you that stern warning, but you don't want to hearken to that. That's why your cities are in ruin right now down there in Puerto Rico, man. Back during the 50s, San Juan, Puerto Rico was like a place of luxury. You can go there on vacation, you can live there. Now look at it, it's in shambles, man. And that's all because of the so-called white man as well. All right, going down, setting up his democracy because Puerto Rico is basically a commonwealth of the United States. All right, so when the United States start claiming territories, they bring the homosexuality. That's why a lot of you homosexuals reside down there in Puerto Rico. You abide by the philosophies of the so-called white man. You take on his religion, the Roman Catholic Church, which all types of religions spring out of that. All right, so you're fully indoctrinated in the ways of Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's why your cities are in ruin. All right, and another thing, Puerto Rico is like billions of dollars of debt that they owe to the United States. So why the hell are you people even rioting in the first place? So I'm going to go to another scripture. Hosea chapter 8, verse 11. It says, because Ephraim have made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. All right, that goes to show you there's a lot of iniquity going on with you so-called Puerto Ricans, man. All right, you don't get it. That's why I said there was only a remnant of you so-called Puerto Ricans that's gonna be saved. All right, when this destruction happens, man, because you so-called Puerto Ricans are gonna go down with your homie lover friend Esau Edom, the so-called white man. All right, so I'm gonna go back to Second Ezra 15. Second Ezra 15 and 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. That's what happened down there during Hurricane Maria, man. All right, martial law was set up, and if you left curfew during certain hours, you would get shot down. All right, 3,000 people died during Hurricane Maria, man. And who knows if this sedition goes on any longer in Puerto Rico? It's gonna be martial law set up in Puerto Rico, man. It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled." And that's what's going on in Puerto Rico right now. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19: A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, because it's gonna turn into people rioting each other as well, man. It's not gonna be against the government. These niggas, all right, and there's niggas of all 12 tribes. Niggas gonna find a way how to loot each other. It's gonna turn into all types of manner of wickedness down there. They're not just gonna only rebel against this so-called governor. They're gonna loot each other, man. We know how you niggas act down there, man. Like Big Pun said, Puerto Ricans are known for slashing, man. All right. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. There's a lack of bread down there in Puerto Rico as well, man. All right. The island has not fully recovered from Hurricane Maria, man. But you people got the nerve to go down there and protest and riot over something that the Most High condemns, which is homosexuality and feminism. All right. So that's basically all I had on that, man. Um, we're in a time of prophecy, man, and this is just one step closer to all hell breaking loose in America. Because what you see going on in Puerto Rico, the same thing you're gonna see in the United States pretty soon. So with that, it's a high time for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and confusion of faces to wake out of sleep. All right, the Lord is showing different signs in the earth that He's coming back, and His name isn't Jesus Christ. His real name is Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and His Father is Yahweh. All right, we are the Hebrew Israelites, from you so-called Negroes all the way down to you so-called Mexicans. It's time to wake out of sleep. All right, for salvation is nearer than when we believe. So with that, I want to say shalom.